Hi, I'm Gene Corbett, Director of TotalDriver. In the next couple of minutes, we're going to take you on a journey of the hypocrisy of road safety. We're going to show you what we're doing about it, how much change it can create, and how you can be part of protecting our next generation of drivers on the road. See you soon.
We know that this year hundreds will die, thousands will be seriously injured, yet we are helpless. We can't save our own children. The facts are that each year about 350 young Australians aged between 17 and 25 die on our roads. Another 5,500 are seriously injured. During their first few months, new drivers die at 4 times the rate of experienced drivers. Every week, another family has to confront this awful reality.
Out of all my travels all around the world working for some of the biggest names in the industry, there was only one whose program projected from a science and engineering perspective, and that was a partnership between the US Navy, NASA, and the Ford Motor Co. The number one problem is the industry cannot define the core for what it projects from. Every course that I looked at was all done from the perspective of the provider of the course. What can we expect if we don't do this? If we don't provide the statistical evidence to prove training them with the right skills, in the right way, in the right time is imperative. We just get more legislation, extension of the P-plate process, more restrictions on speed, reducing it from 100 down to 90. Everything they do is trying to help drivers cope with a reactive process that could have been fixed in the very beginning.
The current licensing procedure revolves around principally 2 sets of drivers. The first is mum and dad, who just tend to perpetuate the same mistakes that they've been making for 30 years and ultimately, in almost every case, have no training experience whatsoever. The second group are the professional driving instructors who have something around in the order of 4 hours formal training, and that is entirely rules-based with no emphasis on skills whatsoever.
Those drivers who had participated in a structured, dedicated program had moved from being reactive to proactive, which means that they perceived events or potential hazards, risky situations, and they prepare themselves for that event, such they were ready. So their behaviour had improved significantly.
TotalDriver is an integrated suite of learning modules, competency-based, that prepares the parents as we're preparing the students. It creates a 3-way partnership between parent, student, and us as training providers to guide everyone through to a set outcome that produces safer drivers who reduce their crash rate dramatically.
I think any sort of research that's going to zoom down and clearly identify the problem has to be a great idea.
With our research program and the support of Griffith University, we aim to demonstrate in the next 12 months a very different range of learning curves between the control and non-control group. The increase in proficiency means a change in driving culture, better decision making, reduced risk, which will change that spike from being a multiple of 30 times their pre-license accident rate to much, much lower than that. Look, there are numerous differences in the TotalDriver program. The academics call the current situation the default, which means what happens if we don't do anything. They know that the post-license accident rate will spike about 30 times the pre-license accident rate. They know the cost of the community is $25 to $27 billion per annum. With the TotalDriver program, it's got clearly defined deliverables at each and every step. It's built on a platform of 100 elements of competency within a framework of 10 module suites. At the end of the day, safer drivers, they're prepared better for the environment that they'll be functioning in, which means they won't crash cars anywhere near as much.
Any Member of Parliament is duty-bound to act on this because it's about saving lives.
It really isn't acceptable that we support legislation if it adversely affects people's lives with no demonstrable benefit.
It takes money to do research. The universities would love to fund this. Companies would like to fund this. But as we know, we're not in that day and age anymore where money is freely available. A little bit of money from you, from me, from everybody can be pulled together, can crowdfund this research. This research is essential. We're not talking about just the novice drivers, we're talking about all the drivers, everybody on those roads. That's you, me, everybody.
Every single child who's learning to drive, or teenager who's learning to drive, needs to have the program that TotalDriver offers.
There's a big hole in the current driver training system.
The industry as a whole seems to teach kids only the basic skill set to pass a driving test. But I absolutely highly recommend that they preach the program.
This is what happens if we don't do anything. You've seen the videos, you heard from the experts. Make your chance to create a better opportunity. Pledge to this research program now. Look forward to you being part of our journey. Thank you.
Show them the money.